Welcome to the Community Difference Plano, powered by the Difference Media LLC, and hosted by Nathan Smith with the Enfuego Group, and also sponsored by Jacqueline Kreider with PBJ Mortgage, Lauren Gill with My Live Love Travel, Diane Castle with Castle to Castle, Tracy Duff with Assisted Living Locators, Megan Shaffer with the Hive of the Happily Insured, Jeannie Smith with Guardian Mortgage, a division of Sunflower Bank, N.A., Audra Hooper with Alloy Personal Training at the Glen Eagles in Plano and Castle Hills locations, and by Tyler Clifton with Harvest Business Solutions. The Community Difference Plano was created to serve as a platform for local leaders and business professionals to showcase their expertise, values, and commitment to their community. Overall, the podcast aims to create a stronger sense of community in North Texas by highlighting the often overlooked or unnoticed good work being done by local leaders, businesses, and professionals. So sit back and relax as our host, co-host, and their guests share inspirational stories, experiences, thoughts, and insights about being a professional, along with the opportunities for our businesses to serve our communities in very special ways. Because the Community Difference Plano starts now.
Good morning, Plano. It is 11:32 on Wednesday morning. Welcome to the Community Difference Plano, a podcast firmly rooted at the intersection of business development and community involvement. I am your host, Nathan Smith with the Enfuego Group, where we specialize in guiding your personal finances and offering tailored small business solutions. At the Enfuego Group, we're not just about financial freedom, but we're passionate about empowering aspiring entrepreneurs to break free from corporate America. So I invite you to join us in our mission to ignite the fire for freedom and help you to live life on fire. Let's get to it today. We are in week 3 of our topic, effective top-of-mind strategies, how to build a relevant brand without being salesy and self-promoting. Probably one of the most important things we could be talking about in our current business landscape. In order to do that, of course, I must introduce our incredible co-host today. We'll start first. Megan Shaffer. She transitioned from a successful 13-year retail career working with brands like Chico's, Hellsberg Diamonds, and others to focus on new opportunities after the birth of her son. She currently runs the Hive of the Happily Insured, where she simplifies the often complex world of health insurance for her clients, making it accessible and easy to understand. She was recently awarded the Spirit of the Race Award at the Frisco Freedom Fest, and she is excited to get back to running 5Ks, something that I have never said in my life. So good for her. She loves traveling. She has a dream of going to Greece soon, and she enjoys festivals, craft beer, and exploring new restaurants. Plenty of that to do in the great city of Plano. Let's welcome Megan Shaffer. Megan, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fabulous, and I'm excited.
I like your mic. I like your background. Everything looks so clean. It's lovely. I love it. I like your shirt. Everything's looking really good. What's the most exciting thing that's happened to you this week?
Well, I'm actually looking forward to getting off Friday and going to the Glow Balloon Festival in Plano. But that's what I'm looking forward to.
Well, you're going to talk more about that, or I think we're going to hear more about that from Jeannie in our What's Up segment. Anything else exciting happened this past weekend?
I did go downtown and talk with some of the people at in downtown Plano about joining a trunk or treat that I'll be hosting for the Hot Mamas of Plano.
Oh, nice.
And looking for
That's
vendors.
Exciting. Yeah, you and I were joking about that. You asked me if my wife wanted to participate. I'm like, well, I think I'll ask her, but I guess I'm not a hot mama, so I'm out.
Yeah, but she can help you.
I will. She loves that. She loves trunk or treats. Next up, with Guardian Mortgage, Jeannie Smith. She's a dedicated professional based in Plano. She's committed to providing her clients with integrity, exceptional service, and a wide range of financial products to meet their diverse needs. She prides herself on blending personal connections with Guardian Mortgage's extensive resources to deliver smart, practical, and unparalleled service in home financing. Jeannie, all the way from the beach, good morning to you.
Good morning, everybody.
Now, what beach are you at?
We are at the Gulf Shores in Florida, Bama area, and it's
Okay.
gorgeous. They have a gorgeous condo on the 6th floor overlooking the ocean, and it's amazing.
Now that's way east of where that hurricane hit recently, right? That's
Yeah,
not
it did. Yeah, it went through, but they were fine. We had 80-mile-an-hour winds the other night that nobody even knew about because the storm windows on this condo is incredible. So we slept right through it.
80-mile-an-hour winds. Yeah. I need to upgrade my windows. I know I wouldn't be sleeping through that. Well, I have an idea of what you're most excited about the past week. It's probably your vacation, but anything that sticks out specifically?
Well, it's just been great to get away. It's one thing we haven't done in a very long time because we both have been working super hard. But just getting out here and having fun, smelling the fresh air and eating some really fresh seafood has been a lot of fun.
Awesome. Well, in order to get us to our next segment, let's bring in our guest today. First of all, Matthew Hyatt with True Footage Inc. Matthew's a regional manager for True Footage, overseeing a team of 40-plus appraisers across multiple states. With over 25 years experience in evaluation, Matthew has coaches appraisers on quality, efficiency, and leveraging technology to enhance the appraisal process. He holds an SRA designation with the Appraisal Institute and is a member of organizations like ATA, NAA, and AGA. The True Footage is a tech startup founded in 2021 and is dedicated to combining cutting-edge technology with appraiser expertise for most credible and data-driven appraisal reports. Let's welcome to the show Matthew Hyatt. Matthew, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Your bio is a mouthful, lots of acronyms. I had to look some of those up, but it's obviously a good thing. You know what you're doing, which is awesome. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you for having me.
What are you most excited about, or either coming up or something that's happened to you in the past week?
Yeah, the most exciting thing, I'm presently working on a project that's been several years in the making, and we're coming to the last week blitz here to have a new piece of tech in appraisers' hands that we're really, really excited about. That's going to kind of leverage some machine learning to take the art of valuation and kind of make it more a data science. So super excited to kind of get that into our team's hands and finish the testing process.
That's good. It's good when new things are happening for sure. Want to hear more about that? We're looking forward to having you in our topic conversation in our second segment. Our first segment coming up, we're going to need to introduce this next guest because he's going to be a big part of it. Let's bring in from the city of Plano City Council, Shelby Williams, called Plano home since 2003, where he and his wife have raised 3 daughters, a graduate of the University of Texas, Austin. Big things are happening for Texas. Exciting for him on that for sure. Built a successful career in business technology, dedicated to advocating for liberty, transparency, and representative government, and committed to this community and his passion for representing Plano as an exceptional place to live, work, and raise a family. And I can attest to that as a friend of the show. Been on probably 10 or 12 times now over the years, and has always been transparent and just passionate about what he believes is very important for the thriving of not only our citizenry in Plano, but statewide and even national wide. So, Shelby, good morning to you, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Nathan. Very well. Thanks. It's great to be back on. Thank you.
We're going to go to commercial in just a moment and then have you kind of come in during our What's Up Plano segment. But I'll ask you the same question. I know you had your Constitution talk that you did. I was going to go to that, and I had an appointment, and I couldn't cancel it, and I was very upset because I want to go. But how did that go?
It went well, and the good news is that we got a recording, which I'll be publishing soon.
Oh, I would love to see that.
Yeah, this was the annual Constitution 101 seminar that I do every year in Constitution Week. Yesterday was Constitution Day.
Yes.
I think yesterday was the 7th year in a row that I've done it. But it was good.
We'll post that to if you send it to me, and I'll post it to the different pages and all of our community pages, because I know it's good to know that people still care about the Constitution. It's pretty important. Slightly, yes. So, well, when we come back, guys, first of all, enjoy our commercial break, our sponsors. When we come back, we'll dive into What's Up Plano, give you a couple of things that you need to know coming up, but also hear from Shelby Williams. We're going to be talking about the recent property tax increase, how it happened, why it happened, good, bad. We'll let him explain everything, and bring your hotly contested questions in the chat, and we'll be right back after this commercial break.
The Community Difference Plano was made possible by Nathan Smith with the Enfuego Group, Diane Castle with Castle to Castle, connecting charities to fundraising solutions, Jim Thomas, business consultant and business funding expert. Tyler Clifton with Harvest Business Solutions. Tracy Duff with Assisted Living Locators. Asiya Mahmood with Windhaven Academy. Lauren Gill with My Live Love Travel. Jacqueline Kreider with PBJ Mortgage. Megan Shaffer with the Hive of the Happily Insured. Jeannie Smith with Guardian Mortgage, a division of Sunflower Bank, N.A. And by Audra Hooper with Alloy Personal Training at the Glen Eagles Plano and Castle Hills locations. The Community Difference Plano. Together, we can make the difference. And now, back to the show.
Are you ready?
Because it's time for
What's Up Plano?
Welcome back. It is time for What's Up Plano, sponsored in part by Voodoo Brewery. If you're looking for a great place to relax, enjoy a delicious craft beer, and support a local business, check out Voodoo Brewery, locally owned and operated. They offer a wide selection of unique beers that you won't find anywhere else, like their West Coast IPA, packed with tropical fruit notes and a 7.3 alcohol by volume. Variety of beers, tasty pub fare, and a family-friendly atmosphere. Voodoo Brewery is a must-visit in downtown Plano. If you mention the Community Difference podcast, when you come in, you'll get 20% off your first beer. Speaking of Voodoo Brewery, we will be there next Thursday, not tomorrow, next Thursday at 5 p.m. for our monthly happy hour. They've been a great friend of the show and just a great partner. We will be there through September for our happy hour. Don't know where we'll be for the rest of the month or rest of the year. We'll get that information to you, but please come out, grab a beer with us, hang out. We want to get to know you. Right before that, at 4 o'clock, we will be having our Business Development Alliance training. What is that? You've probably all been to networking groups where you maybe learn a little bit, you exchange a business card, but you don't really go deep in terms of applying not only the things we talk about here, but the things that are going to actually help you move your business in the right direction. So rather than just spending time chit-chatting, which is good, right? You want to build relationships, obviously. We get down to the nitty-gritty. The great thing is we don't charge to come in. Come visit, come learn with us. The curriculum that we're going through, Lyndon, you can pop that up, is something that Lyndon's been working on for a long time. And it's a book called The Entrepreneurial Difference. We're going to be going through that starting 4 o'clock, 4 to 5 at the First Christian Church in Plano. Come in. It's free. Hang out with us. I promise you will get something out of it, and you'll want to come back month after month. In fact, we might even be shrinking the time frame and doing it weekly just because it's such good content that we want to start implementing very, very quickly. So Business Development Alliance, come on over to the happy hour at Voodoo Brewery. It is within walking distance. Last thing for me, I spoke with Diane Castle. Last week we had the Craze event that's put on by the Plano Police Department. She went to that. She's going to report on what she learned. She was super excited about it. She'll come on next week and report on that. But one of the things that's coming up that the Plano Police Department is doing is what they're calling a Thriving Communities Resource Fair. It's 5 to 8 p.m. at the Community Center, the Plano Event Center, on Mondays. This Monday, 5 to 8 p.m. at the Plano Event Center. They're going to be talking about community resources, basically anything from housing, employment, counseling, medical resources, legal resources. They're going to have on-site support in all those areas. So if you're a Plano resident needing anything in those areas, come check it out. We want to try to point you in the right direction. So just another thing that our city and our police are working together on to bring those resources where they need to be. Big events coming up, Jeannie. Something's happening this week. I know I know Megan will be there. You may still be out of town, but share with us about the Balloon Festival.
Well, thank you, Nathan. So this week is the most beautiful, fun festival that Plano holds. That's the Plano Balloon Festival. And what I think is going to be really cool, that it would be really fun to experience, is the tethered balloon rides. So there is a minimum age, and it does start tomorrow, and it runs through the entire festival. And it is held at the HEB, and the HEB parking lot is where you would go. And the balloon rides are tethered, so you're not going to fly away. But it does give you quite the experience of being on the balloon. So great food, great time for family, just, a really beautiful experience. And it's always fun if you can't make it to the festival, just to look up into the sky and you will get a glimpse of those balloons. So I encourage everybody to go. It'll be a great time.
Is there an age? Do you know if there's an age requirement for the tethered?
6 years. Yes, the minimum
okay.
age is 6 years of age. Yes.
6 years. Okay, awesome. And one thing too, I talked to Mark Jarrell, who actually runs the Plano Event Center, and we had him on a couple of weeks ago talking about the construction project they're doing. And just to remind everybody, there's going to be about 200 to 250 fewer spots of parking available because most of that compound is under construction. So they have opened up spots at the rec center, which is right across the street. So basically get there as early as you can because it may be a little hectic this time, but good things are coming obviously with that event center. So thank you, Jeannie. And a couple of other things that are feel good things coming up. Megan, talk about North Texas Giving Day.
Yeah, so North Texas Giving Day today and tomorrow, you can double your impact on what you give. 3,000 nonprofits rely on, this donation to basically, help people throughout the rest of the year. So it's for a good cause. You get to choose who you want to. You also get to choose multiple ones. I did it this morning. I chose the single parent advocate because Stacy Martin was my guest last month. And for 15 years, North Dallas has been giving back. So you can go to NorthTexasGivingDay.org to search whatever organization. But like I said, I did single parents advocate, and then I supported Hot Mama with SEPTA of Carrollton. So you can add as many to your cart. You get to see the money go up. It's close to 19,000 right now. But the goal is to hit 60,000. So unfortunately, it's dropped since 2020. Because of COVID, inflation, the election, but any little bit, I did $75 total. It's not much, but it's something that makes a difference.
Every little bit helps. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing. You can go to the North Texas Giving Day. You can find that easily online. Go to their website. It's super easy to navigate. So as the time we have left here, got about 8 or 9 minutes. I want to bring in Shelby. Again, Shelby, thank you so much for being on today. So this started, and we have a mutual friend that let me in on. I didn't know this was a vote until I follow you, and I would have known about it eventually, obviously. But there was some buzz on Facebook about the property tax increase that was voted on. Some people were not happy about it. Knowing your relationship with the show and your compassion for the city of Plano, always trying to do what's best. I said, well, we better have Shelby on to figure out what's going on here. So I know you got a couple of slides to share. I'll have those ready whenever you want to point to them. But I'll let you kind of just talk about how it came about, what the vote, how the vote came about, why you voted for it, and then what does that mean for Plano.
Sure. And I know we've only got a few minutes, so I'll preface by saying this is a really weird budget cycle and a complicated budget cycle. I'm working on producing additional slides. I'm going to do a full video recap. It's probably going to take half an hour or more. I hope to have that done by the weekend. But I'll start by saying, yes, it was a property tax increase. I'll conclude next, well, not conclude, but I'll say next that it is necessary for government to increase the amount of taxes it takes in over time to keep pace with the reality of inflation. Now, we on the Plano City Council, we adopted what's called the no new revenue tax rate 4 years in a row, and that's reducing the rate sufficient to offset the increase in property values. So the reality is that you get a tax increase every single year from the federal government and the state government over time. They just don't have to vote on it because they've set the income tax rate where it is, and the state set the sales tax rate where it is. So as we spend more over time, we're paying more actual dollars in sales taxes because it's a percentage of what we actually spend. As we earn more over time, in aggregate, we pay more income taxes over time. Simplistically, if you earn $100,000 a year and your income tax rate is 10%, then you're going to pay $10,000 a year. If you get a new job and you're getting paid $110,000 a year, your 10% tax rate hasn't changed, but you are now paying $11,000 a year in income taxes. Congress never had to vote on that because it's just the rate was set and that's the way it is. Same with the state sales tax. You're paying 8.25% in most parts of Texas on the stuff you buy. When you got that $10,000 a year raise, you're probably going to buy some more stuff, which means you're going to give more money to the government in the form of taxes. They didn't have to vote on it. Property taxes are very different. First, because we have to vote on it every single year. Second, because the value of your property has nothing at all to do with how much money you're earning or how much money you're spending. It's completely disconnected. So over the 4 years that we adopted the no new revenue rate, what that actually means is forget what the rate is. We're not bringing in any additional dollars this year than we were last year on properties that were taxed in both years. That's not counting new property that was built and is now taxed. I'll also say that I'm part of the effort to try to eliminate property taxes in Texas, but that's another episode. So this is the primary means of financing local government, property taxes under the Texas Constitution. So when we adopted the no new revenue rate, meaning keeping the actual tax dollars flat that the city collects, we did it 4 years in a row. And I had campaigned in 2019 on doing it only 2 years in a row. And then 2020 happened and we went ahead and did it again just because of the economic uncertainty, the pandemic and everything. Let's not saddle our people with that. Then in 2021, inflation went through the roof and we adopted it again for the 4th year in a row, the 21-22 budget cycle. And ultimately we did it 4 years in a row so that our people weren't getting hit twice with inflation and with a property tax increase. But that's not sustainable over time for a government because of inflation. We're subject to inflation as well. And we'll put up the slides here in a moment, and I'll show you that the inflation that the city is hit with is greater than the inflation the average person is hit with because we're buying different things. We're buying concrete and steel pipe, stuff that you don't load up in your cart at H-E-B. And the inflationary impact on that, it's called the municipal cost index, is different than your basket of groceries and energy, which is the consumer price index. So
yeah, let's throw that slide up. We can see that while you're talking.
So every year we've done this, and every year we look at the budget, what they show us on council is the proposed tax rates, no new revenue rate, what's called the voter approval rate, which is a 3.5% actual increase. And the average single family home value in Plano, the average taxable value, because if you have a homestead exemption, you get 20% knocked off the market value of your home for tax purposes, and then the tax impact to those folks. And every year we adopted the no new revenue rate, we saw a flat tax impact to the average single family homeowner in Plano. And we were like, okay, we're keeping taxes flat. And we see that the tax impact is going to keep taxes flat. That's what we expect. This year, however, was different. And it caused me to scratch my head. Various things have happened with the market, the real estate market, that created a wonky situation. So you may have heard that this was the largest tax increase in 20 years in Plano. That is true for a specific subset of properties. Homesteaded single family homeowners specifically. For commercial properties, which get zero protections under Texas property tax law, which includes multifamily. This was not the biggest tax increase in 20 years, not by a long shot. So what happens, several compounding factors, but the biggest tax increase in Plano history applies specifically to homesteaded single family homeowners, which is about 40% of our property tax base. As you can see from this chart, I started out with just an even baseline from Q1 of 2020. The brown line on the screen is CPI inflation, consumer price index. That's what affects us in the grocery store and our energy bill and everything. The red line, which is population growth plus MCI, municipal cost index, our city services and school services for that matter are driven overwhelmingly by population. We serve people. And so we have to account for not just the municipal cost index, the inflationary aspect, but also population increase. In Plano, we haven't had much of a population increase in this time, but there has been some. But that's what we need to collect tax dollars to keep ahead of over time. And as you can see, that red line, population plus MCI, accounts for the biggest increase. The green line is wages on average, how much people are earning. And you can see that between Q1 2020 and really Q2 to 3 last year, wages did not keep pace with inflation, CPI inflation for the average person. Costs were going up, wages were not going up accordingly. And then our budget, our Plano budget, is the blue line. This is how much we're spending. And we have had to continue to spend. You can see the blue line is greater than the purple line. We have had to spend more than we were actually taxing people for all of these years. Part of that is because we weren't bringing in additional dollars. We were passing on that savings to our people, our taxpayers. We were financing this in a variety of ways, but we weren't raising your taxes to do it. Only with like tail end of last year, the numbers I have go through Q1 of this year. This is all from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. I didn't make these numbers up. So the amount of taxes that we're paying, that we're collecting with this budget cycle catch up to our budget, which is the way it's supposed to be over time. Again, the only difference between us and state and federal government is by law, we have to have this vote every year. So a big part of the reason why this is disparately impacting homesteaded single-family homeowners is this chart right here. The market value of single-family homes increased this year a lot more than commercial and way, way, way more than multifamily. As everybody is aware, I'm sure, we have a significant amount of multifamily housing in Plano. It accounts for about 15 to 20% of our total property tax revenues. But because of the nature of property tax law, they get no protections. They've been taking it on the chin along with businesses, commercial property, every year for the past several years. It's just we never actually looked at that impact when we considered our tax rate. It's always homesteaded single-family homes. The cynic in me can wonder why that is, and I can speculate that that's because that's who votes. But the reality is that any taxes that a business pays are passed along to the consumer in the form of higher prices or to the employees in the form of lower wages. You know, somebody's got to pay for it in the end anyway. So you can see the teal, dark green, whatever you want to call it. That's the share of the total property value that each of these categories has: existing single family, new single family, et cetera. And then the orange is their share of the increase to the property tax. So that's absolutely right. I call property taxes modern day feudalism, Suzanne, because you're literally working the land and paying the taxes on the land at the sufferance of the local lord. And if you can't,
so this is kind of a necessary evil based on you guys not raising taxes for a period of time, or not increasing your revenue, I should say. And this just kind of caught up, and you combine that with inflation, and obviously wages are down. But I guess the question probably everybody wants to know is, and we got about 30 seconds here, so not a lot of time to talk about. So first of all, I know you're going to be putting out more on this. Shelby is a wealth of knowledge, and he's always available to talk and ask questions. You can, he'll meet you, he'll talk with you one-on-one. I know that about him for sure. But is this something that could potentially be, get lowered back down in the next cycle? I know you want to eliminate it altogether. That's a big thing that's happening at the state level, obviously. Yes. But is there a temporary nature to this at all? I mean, can you give anybody some hope, I guess?
It depends on what happens with the real estate market next year. Because of the disparity in the market value increase, and there are other compounding factors, even if we adopted the no new revenue rate this year, homesteaded single-family homeowners still would have gotten a 6.5% tax increase. That's the number that caused me to scratch my head and start digging into what the heck is going on here.
Okay.
So keeping taxes flat would result in a 6.5% tax increase. That's wonky.
Yeah, that seems very well. And, it's funny. Matthew was just talking in the pre-show about this market is the weirdest real estate market he's ever seen. And so we know that there's a lot going on, a lot of tough decisions to be made. But hey, if you have any questions like Suzanne, feel free. I know Shelby will walk you through that. I promise you, Shelby is the least fan of taxes, but as a leader, you've got to work within the frame that you've got. But I wouldn't suggest getting your pitchfork and lantern necessarily. Just have a civil conversation and figure out, what's coming, what happened, and what we can do, because, there's a lot of things that we can do to support the causes on the larger state level to hopefully maybe eliminate property tax altogether, which would be a fantastic thing. Shelby, thank you so much for being on. We're going to go to break. When we come back, we'll dive right into our topic, effective top-of-mind strategies, how to build an iconic brand, a relevant brand without being salesy. Nobody wants to be that. So stick around. We'll talk about that when we get back.
Everyone deserves access to affordable health insurance, but with traditional insurance, costs can be high and getting coverage can be complicated. JP Direct Health is a simpler, more affordable way to get the health coverage you need. With plans for individuals, families, and small businesses, you can save money on monthly premiums without the need for physicals. At jpdirecthealth.com, we specialize in customizing coverage to fit almost every budget with affordable PPO plans and many other benefits. With over 100 5-star Google reviews, JP Direct Health is a trusted resource making health insurance affordable and accessible for everyone year-round. Affordable health insurance solutions are a proactive protection, not a reactive solution. Visit jpdirecthealth.com today and see how much you can save.
I'm always here to help. Thank you.
Enjoy DFW's most fun, affordable night out and catch the Rough Riders, the AA affiliate of the Rangers, at beautiful Riders Field in Frisco. Get your tickets at ridersbaseball.com. The Frisco Rough Riders, the future stars of your Texas Rangers.
Are you or someone you know pregnant or planning to conceive? Caitlin Smith is both a certified childbirth doula and instructor offering childbirth classes to couples wanting an unmedicated, physiological birth outside of the hospital setting. Caitlin has served the local community since 2021 and specializes in working closely with midwives, all while best supporting a mother's physical body, her partner, and the birth environment. You can contact Caitlin through Instagram at thismamadoula or email her at caitlinsmithdoula@gmail.com to learn more about childbirth classes or her doula services.
Are you looking to buy a home? The process can be daunting, but it doesn't have to be. With the help of a qualified loan officer like Paul Fisher, you can get the financing you need and get into your dream home. Paul Fisher, a direct local lender with Certainty Home Lending, has many years of experience helping people buy homes. He's knowledgeable, experienced, and he'll work with you to find the best loan for your needs. Contact Paul Fisher today to get started on your home buying journey. He'll help you every step of the way, so you can relax and focus on finding your dream home. Visit www.loansbyfisher.com or call 817-308-7361 to schedule a consultation with Paul. MLS number 2018111.
Now back to the show.
Welcome back. Effective top-of-mind strategies, right? What we're doing is talking about different approaches to keep your brand relevant, consistent, present in the mind.
I think we lost him.
Should I take over as host?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, if we're still airing, Lendon, I don't know. I can pick it up and make it up as I go.
Yeah, we're still going. Go ahead, Shelby. I don't know what happened to Nathan.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and use my experience in the political sphere to jump in on this topic. Promoting your brand without sounding salesy. I have to promote my brand and be a little bit salesy just to win elections. If you count runoffs, I've run 5 elections now in 5 years. So, but I do the same thing. Professionally, I'm in marketing. So, I mean, politics doesn't pay the bills, at least not in my office. Hey, welcome back, Nathan.
That was the weirdest thing. My browser just signed me off the show. Hey, that's okay. I don't know what I was saying, but I'll start over. I'm glad you're still on, Shelby. Yeah. So effective top of mind strategy. So really what we're talking about is techniques, approaches, things that will help build a constant stream of consciousness, basically a thought to keep you top of mind in your target audience, right? What we want to do is, build our brand, right? But make it resonate, make it, people really see the genuineness of our nature, who we are at the core, right? Because really our brand is more us than it is actually our product or our service. So that's kind of the framework that we want to get started on. But as I was mentioning in the pre-show, I want to start with you, Matt, because a lot of times we've when we're training business owners, when we're talking at our Business Development Alliance, there's a lot of times when we think about top of mind strategies, what we end up coming up with are kind of some things that are really surface level, some things that everyone else is doing. Not that it's bad, not that it's, you should necessarily stop those, but we've got to figure out a way to go deeper. So, in your industry, what you're doing is unique in and of itself, but what are some things in the appraisal world that people are doing to stay top of mind, but you kind of feel like are just really surface level? I want to compare between the two.
Yeah, so what we do is, a real property appraiser and not on the taxing component, not your assessor, but just for, your typical kind of mortgage transaction or any other, transaction that would need it. A lot of appraisers are typically going to be reaching out to local lenders that they know and just kind of saying, hey, you're doing loans, I do appraisals for loans. It's a great synergy. The problem is our industry has a lot of compliance issues, so that ends up being relationship building, but it doesn't net with any additional opportunity for work. So a lot of appraisers are kind of doing that as the lowest, hanging fruit, like having that, local connection. You're starting to see an increased social media presence. Again, low hanging fruit. It's an easy way to just kind of jump in the conversations and throw your opinions out there. It's not typically the space where you do a lot of, external type advertising. It's not really the way you can capture that, which I think is a lost opportunity because there's a whole segment of the business that's not being touched. That's estates, divorces, bankruptcy, a lot of different, financial situations that would require an appraisal. So, the thing we see most is kind of, reaching out to their lender connections and bypassing even the realtor connections, which I think is, a big miss as well.
Yeah, I see, a lot of people are.
Oh, you freeze again?
He's having a terrible day.
Yeah, he is. He's going to need a voodoo beer after this.
Yeah, nothing bad about those things. I don't know what's going on with my stuff today. I apologize. Nothing bad with that, but there's a way to go deeper. And I know you guys are doing that. How do you take a more personalized approach? Because you're really marrying the tech world and the personal touch when it comes to appraising. So what do you guys do? Not just what do you do, but what do you do to stay top of mind, to providing that extra personal touch, the experience when you're working with somebody that nobody else has, that we're going to make people always realize, hey, True Footage is who I want to work with, whether from a client side, a seller buyer side, or from a realtor side.
Yeah. So what we do, a few different streams. Number one, we sell software to appraisers where it helps them make their reports more credible, helps them be a little bit more efficient. So as we kind of network and we try to push to the actual vendors who use the service, they can then push that out and let them know that's why they're better than other appraisers or why they have the ability to work faster or more credibly. So we get, indirect advertising that direction. The other way is partnering with lending entities versus reaching out to them with my hand out all the time saying, can you give me work? Is trying to find that common denominator of who's that overlapping target, which a lot of times is real estate professionals or your typical borrower homeowner, and we can partner on education. We can partner on disseminating information or really kind of getting the incorrect messaging out there corrected. So a lot of it's through education, community involvement. Obviously, there's endless opportunities to get out and partner with insurance companies, inspectors, realtors, and get involved in your community and get word of mouth advertising, which a lot of times leads to connection to wealth management companies, probate attorneys, divorce attorneys, pre-listing opportunities with real estate agents who are having a hard time. And then our last stream is really kind of taking our technology that's a lot around, supporting the appraisal process, but then now repackaging it to, say, a real estate agent end user, who then now might get CMA assistance, who might be able to do their job more credibly with the assistance of an appraiser, and therefore can, having that subconscious presence of your company at all times.
I like that. Megan, in the health insurance world, you've got a lot of, it's a very crowded space. You got people posting on social media about what their plans and their services, and, open enrollment's coming. They go to networking events, they email their clients. These aren't bad things, but that's kind of the strategy for a lot of health insurance agencies to stay top of mind. And if everybody's doing that, nobody's top of mind. It's just kind of a luck of a draw. So going deeper, how do you shift from just kind of a basic promotion to actually educating clients through storytelling, real life scenarios, personal stories, personal case studies, things like that, things that you're doing, helping families, etc., to stand out in a market that is obviously very saturated, but not just to stand out, but to have the building the client base where people are going to come back. They're going to refer you. They're going to introduce you to other circles because you're operating differently than the rest of your competitors. That's a long-winded question, but hopefully you got the gist.
Well, definitely a couple of things is definitely just standing out in a crowded market like we talked about before. My color, my logo gets people happy and more people welcoming to my page. But something that is that I am implementing in October and reaching out to people is, what can I do for you? Because everybody wants to talk about themselves, but nobody really will ask, hey, what can I do to help support your business? And I think as my name brand stands out, Hive of the Happily Insured, it's about creating a community of the Hive, bringing people together.
Your people, your tribe. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I like that.
but it's what I want to do is promote somebody's business for a whole week on my personal page.
That's
And
great.
get their name out there and talk about them. I mean, it's not just health insurance that I do. I do have a certain clientele. Private health insurance is based upon, good health and bringing, like Matthew was talking about, good synergy people. I'm looking for people who are in the health industry, whether it's working out, being advanced in what, natural medicines, holistic, things that you're doing. So it's, but then again, it can be anybody. It's just supporting other people the way that you'd want to be supported and helping get your name out there. And that's what I've done with this trunk or treat. The post, I'm advertising each business, 4 businesses a week to bring people, but to help them as well. Because again, it's about helping other people, because then you kind of, can ask those questions of, what do you do for your health insurance a lot easier.
Yeah. And you never go wrong by highlighting other people.
Mm-hmm.
You never go wrong by putting yourself out there as someone that's a servant of the community, that's someone that is a resource. And as you build those relationships, and we talked about this, and we have an internal lunch and learn on Mondays with all of our hosts and co-hosts from our different shows across North Texas. But what you end up finding is you become the resource when you start serving other people, right? Lyndon, I love this question he asked in the private chat. If you were given $100,000 ad budget to build goodwill and brand awareness for your personal brand in your community, but you couldn't mention the product or service you sell, how would you use that $100,000 to become known, liked, and trusted in your community? Jeannie, I had some questions that I want to ask you, but I'll start with that one for you if you want to start there.
Okay, great question. And first of all, I just want to go right back to Matt, something that he said and why I thought he'd be perfect for this conversation that we're having is that Matt does give back, and we've worked together on several opportunities where we've co-sponsored. And when he gets up in front of a room, he really captivates the audience and educates and does a great job. So that's why I thought he'd be great for this conversation. So to answer that question that Lennon just asked, if you had $100,000 and you could not mention, your brand or your brand promise, it's basically what we're talking about, getting out in the community, getting people to know you, like you, and trust you, because people like to do business with people that they like. So if you continue to deliver on that promise of following through on your word and delivering the whatever the need or expectation is of that client, you're building your brand. And that's kind of like what we do in mortgage. I mean, there's, a million people in the mortgage business, but everybody somewhat does the same thing and delivers the same product. But it's how you deliver that experience through the entire process from beginning to end. And, and I think that if you just stay consistent with your communication, consistent with your service and your brand promise, and you do it over and over again, and you continue to be efficient and effective, then you would get your brand message out. And going back to what Megan said, and that's, helping other people and promoting them. And that's what we do is we help our team, and we help our partners get that recognition, and also help them build trust with the communities that they're serving in.
Yeah. In the mortgage world, in the real estate world, you got a lot of similarity things with, posting about homes and posting about closings, and, offering discounts and offering, or just services and trying to connect people. Those are all good. But at the end of the day, the deeper level, and this is something that we've had other co-hosts talk about. We had a couple other people in the mortgage industry, but what do you do, Jeannie, that goes beyond kind of what everyone else does to get that personalized touch? I think about, sometimes people will do financial literacy workshops that teach home buyers really the details of mortgage, but also the broader financial implications of how your personal finance and your mortgage, all that kind of works together. That's obviously something really good that I think a lot of mortgage lenders should take advantage of, because so many of them are not doing that. Looking at case studies, clients, things like that, testimonials. This is going to obviously draw you out as more of an expert, which you obviously are, but letting people know that you may be doing some of those things already. But talk to me about, when you look at the landscape of the mortgage world, okay, you say there's a lot of similarity. How does Jeannie Smith stand out? What do I do utilizing the multifaceted assets of top of mind strategies to actually stay top of mind?
Well, that is a great question. And I think that, we all use social media, and, we deliver content, onto the different platforms. But I think we're my team, where we really stand out is the experience that we deliver on every loan that we touch. My team and I have a mission statement, and we always go back to that. If we are, focusing on what delivers the best experience, especially to our referral partners. I mean, even Matt, like a referral partner, but making sure that everything that we do is in the form of excellence, so that at the end of the day, when say the loan is closed, because that's what I do, is how does the referral partner, the realtor, the attorney, how do we represent their brand? And I always say we are an extension of your brand, and our brand promise to you is that we will always do the best job, communicate efficiently and effectively, so that we take the stress out of the process, because home buying is a stressful process for everybody involved. And, we're always one step ahead with the communication that we deliver, but also just at the very end, just tying it up with a handwritten thank you note, maybe delivering a personalized gift to the borrower 30 days out, so they remember what a great experience they had. But just always being available, that when referral partners call, because, in our business, it's basically 24/7. So being available to help them get the information that they need to deliver to their customer, and then just make it a very stress-free environment for them, so that at the end of the day, whoever they refer to us is going back to them and saying, wow, we had the best experience. So then they look good, because in their circle of influence, we're all part of their team.
Well, and I think, and what you're mentioning too, is a lot of just really good customer service, which, you definitely want to have. But I think I want to challenge all of us to think further, than just because obviously the interaction with the customer, how we treat them, how we make things different experientially is a good way of staying top of mind for sure. But we also, everybody should be doing the things that we talk about here, because that's quality relationship building. But Matt, in about 30 seconds, if you can wrap us up here, I know it's a short time frame. Back to the question in the chat here, $100,000 ad budget. You can do anything you want with it to stay top of mind, but you can't mention anything about true footage or appraisal. How do you use that money and where everybody knows who Matthew Hyatt is at the end of that $100,000?
Yeah, so I think that last point is the one that would be most important to me, would be making sure at the end of the conversation they realize the value that I bring them, not necessarily the value that the logo or the company that I work for brings them. So
that
with $100,000,
I
wouldn't necessarily do anything crazy out overt, as much as I would potentially put together educational seminars or some, the markets that I hit the most, and but I have something to be completely free and in a good environment where I can then, to what Meg was saying earlier, what can I do for you? So there would be some kind of little regional or local summits where I can put together an event, be able to kind of show how I can help you in your business, not sell a product, not sell a company, but lend and kind of just show you what I'm here and what I'm about. And then hopefully we would leave those type of events. So having a $100,000 budget would allow me the time, would allow me the resources to put together some events like that.
Yeah, I tell you, and we're going to go to commercial. I tell you what I would do, and that's a great answer, Matt, is, I would take that and spend some time going around and just visiting and building relationships with different businesses in the area, some nonprofits, some businesses, some city leaders, and just video that, get an interaction of, get kind of a pulse of the city, if you will, the boots on the ground approach, feeling out how struggles, successes, triumphs, what they're doing. And then spending all that money, just putting that information out there for people to see, knowing that I was able to connect those and bringing those people in the forefront of the community, right? And then obviously at that point, I'd be able to connect, like-minded individuals, like-minded areas of business, et cetera. I'm blanking on the word, but using your ability to highlight other people and connect them, whether it's through social programs and like Tom Shoes. You guys are familiar with Tom Shoes. Nobody really knows. I don't even know if people like Tom Shoes. They just like what Tom Shoes does, right? Which is huge, right? That's why they're always top of mind. And so there's so many ways that we've got to think. We've got to differentiate between great customer service, which we should all have, and ways that people have Matthew Hyatt in their head all the time. And that may have nothing to do, Meg Shaffer, Jeannie Smith, Shelby Williams, with nothing to do with what we actually do. But if they know us, then the sky's the limit with opportunity. When we come back, a couple of quick questions for Matthew, for Meg, Jeannie, Shelby. We're going to talk about our city, how we interact with the city, what we love about the city of Plano, how to get involved at the local level, what we love about doing business and doing life in the city of Plano. Stick around. We'll be right back.
And now a word from a few of our amazing sponsors that make the Difference Radio, live stream, and podcast network possible.
Hey Texans, hold on to your hats. The Mesquite Championship Rodeo, newest sponsor partner of the Community Difference shows, is back, bigger and better than ever. Witness the heart-pounding action as the best riders in the world compete for glory. Feel the thrill of the chase, the raw power of nature, and the unbreakable spirit of the West. Don't miss your chance to be part of the legend. Get your tickets now for the Mesquite Championship Rodeo or win yours free just for watching the Community Difference shows.
Unwanted pests in your home can be stressful. From creepy crawlies to critters under the floorboards, they disrupt your peace of mind. But don't worry. All Pest Solutions is here to help. We offer a comprehensive range of safe and effective pest control solutions. We target all types of pests, big or small, including insects, rodents, and wildlife. All Pest Solutions, your local experts for a pest-free home. Breathe easy and enjoy your life again. Call today for a free quote. 972-442-1169 or email us at customerservice@allpestsolutions.com.
Buying a home? It should be an exciting time, not a stressful one. At Proven National Title, we understand that buyers want fast, reliable, transparent, seamless, convenient title and closing services. Therefore, our services are not limited to our office or yours. Let Jackie Tobar and all the fine folks at Proven National Title help make your dream of homeownership a reality. Call us today for a smooth and stress-free closing. Contact us at 972-752-8540 or email at jackie.tobar@provennationaltitle.com. Proven National Title. Give me one and I'll earn the rest.
Get Her Done Home Remodeling, based in Wiley, Texas, is a family-owned business that has become a trusted name across the DFW Metroplex. Meet Robert Ridlin, proud owner along with his wife Kiana, of Get Her Done Home Remodeling. With years of construction experience, Robert and his team deliver award-winning, dependable, and trustworthy service. Get Her Done Home Remodeling, where your home dreams become reality.
To belong is one of our most basic human needs. Best Buddies International is the world's largest organization dedicated to ending the social isolation of 200 million individuals who have intellectual and developmental disabilities. We focus on meaningful one-to-one friendships, integrated employment, leadership development, and inclusive living. You have the power to make an impact, create change, and champion our mission of inclusion today.
And now, back to the show.
Welcome back. We actually have a really unique scenario today, because what I want to talk about is really a continuation of the topic, because a big part of top of mind strategies, effective top of mind strategies, there's a lot of non-effective top of mind strategies, but effective ones, is this idea of community engagement and, creating a co-op or co-creative efforts between businesses, business to business, business and citizenry, etc. We'll start with you, Matthew. First of all, somebody wanting to get involved in Plano, in the city, what would be your recommendation how to do that? But beyond that, for you, how have you found a boost or a top of mind boost, if you will, in some of the ways that you guys have been able to connect in the community and either through giving back, either through a social call, either through just building relationships with their business owners? Why is it important? How to do it? And then how has it affected you from a brand standpoint, staying top of mind?
Yeah, so our company is a little unique in the sense of being, or not unique, but being spread across the country as a real estate appraisal company. It creates new challenges, right? It's really hard to do that in a lot of different places. So we lean heavily on our appraiser professionals that are in the specific markets. So, Dallas and North Dallas. I'm in far North Dallas, right just south of Plano, but me and my market, I tend to do a lot of the same strategies I kind of mentioned earlier. Number one is I'm big on education. I'm big on giving back to other businesses that I partner with. So whether it be doing a lunch and learn type presentation with Jeannie at Guardian for her network of agent referrals, I love doing that. If it's partnering with a title company or a insurance company to then find out, again, their common pool that they're trying to find their customer base from. The biggest thing I do, getting involved with local brokerages on the real estate sales level, and realizing that there's a giant lack in education on the valuation component, which is kind of crazy considering that agents have to do CMAs and have to do a value opinion, more to, so to say, although the Texas Occupation Code limits what they're allowed to say that they're doing. But filling in those gaps for them, because I think that their training on the topic is very, very loose and not really, sufficient for what they need to be doing. Aside from that, for me, the biggest thing is just being involved in my local community, whether it be my kid's school district and showing up to school district events and, talking to other people who might have a, financial services company or something, or it might be an attorney who, might dabble in the field that we might be able to kind of cross over in. I've always seen a lot of value from that as far as, again, pushing myself and my name and the service that I can offer. And then for me, bringing my team in and getting them exposed so that's not always me. Again, I can definitely sell the value add of myself, but I want my team to benefit as well. So pulling in other members of the team to start doing it with me, and then kind of eventually let them branch out to their own, doing some of the same strategies, and let them be their sub-market expert.
Yeah, so I like how you're kind of duplicating your strategies with your team. I think that's a very, very important thing, just as a general rule of thumb, which is great. Shelby, I want to actually ask you a question here. Obviously, you have a business, you're a business owner, but primarily, at least for me, your brand in the city of Plano is you, and it's your service towards as not only the Collin County GOP chair, but the Plano City Council. You do a good job of getting involved with the community. And you'd think that you'd have to do that, right, as a city council, but that's not always the case in a lot of cities. And so, so a top of mind, I call it a strategy, I guess, in this instance. But for you, you're really creating, I don't know if you're intending to do this, but you're creating a brand of who you are, your values, what you represent. And it works because that's how I see you, right? We've built a relationship. I see what you're doing in the community. But just talk about your approach as a business owner, as a leader in the community, how you try to put all those things together, and what you've seen from a value add personally by taking the steps, the efforts to actually build those relationships and do those things.
Well, it's a little bit different in my case. I mean, it's a good question, but professionally, I do both marketing and digital transformation consulting. There's not a lot of brand promotion. I mean, everything Matthew said was right, but there's not a lot of brand promotion for what I do professionally in my role on city council, whether I'm, teaching people about the Constitution or property taxes or anything. People obviously have come to trust me. They've come to consider me an expert on these things. That doesn't translate, in my case, to marketing services, but I do all of that because I believe in it. I think it's important. I think that people in the community deserve to have this stuff demystified. So that's why I also do my city council previews and my recaps. I try to make government, at least at the local level, as much as I can touch it, as accessible as possible to the average person.
But I think you're, and I want to, I think you're a great example because, and we're got to go to break right after this, but I think you're a great example because you spend so much time serving, and I am, yes, it's you're elected to do that, right? We hope that you would do that, but it's a good example for all of us because you spend a lot of time serving, you spend a lot of time giving value that you're not paid for, and things that you are just passionate about, but you become a resource. And I would argue that there's a lot of people that do know what you do. You've built that trust as a brand of Shelby Williams that, oh, well, he does this. So if he's good at this stuff, he's probably good at this business that he's a part of. And so that you're ultimately, you're not salesy at all because you never talk about your business. You obviously have other things that you're passionate about and that you've committed to and you've been voted to do as well. But I think it's actually a really good lesson, the power of communicating with people and building relationships and, being a resource, sharing different things that other people care about, and they come to you, and whether you know the answer, you can probably put them in front of the right person. And I think that's a good lesson for all of us as business owners that, most people don't know Shelby for his business. They know him for who he is, his character, his values, his service. And that's ultimately the thing that's going to raise the bar for us in our community, and why it's so important to go beyond. Lyndon's question was great. I mean, we need to be looking at ways to, as if we had $100,000 marketing budget, but we can do a lot of marketing for free, right? And we can do it for other people, and that's always going to come back around and to benefit us and benefit everybody on the whole. Let's go to break.
Nathan, real quick, let me jump in there because I want to talk about the $100,000 marketing budget and why I posed that question.
Okay.
When we are so focused on promoting, whether it's top of mind, ads, marketing, whatever, our product or service, the only people that we're resonating with in that style of promotion are people that want our product or service. So millions of people, thousands of people, whatever it may be, are not, our spend dollars are not resonating with them. So when they get ready to have something, they may not even know who we are because they have ignored or avoided paying attention to what our ads were. So where you get the most out of your spend dollars is when you can reach everybody and they fall in love with you. And the day that they decide, I need a mortgage, I need insurance, I need whatever it is that they need, because you are top of mind, which is the strategy, that's who they want to do business with. And you've already built the know, like, and trust factor, and you shorten the sales cycle, because used to in the old days, you had to meet them, build rapport, go through all of it, all good things. That's relationship building. But now you can do it so much more effectively and efficiently through social media that's where you get the phones ringing rather than you always calling.
Yeah. It's almost like the more things, the more resources that people know you for, or know that you can help with, or know that you're an expert in, or know that you can connect them through, the more you're going to be thought of. So we limit ourselves to just our thing.
It's the brand relevance. It really is. It's the brand relevance. So
let's go to break. When we come back, we have a couple of fun what's the difference questions, and then we'll wrap up the show today. Thank you to everybody for being on. Stick around. Right back.
At the Community Difference Business Development Alliance, powered by the Difference Media LLC, our mission is to empower small business owners by transcending acceptable behaviors and outcomes into exceptional realms. We foster a culture of self-awareness, accountability, and proactive engagement, guiding individuals to recognize and overcome indifference towards transformative actions, habits, behaviors, and processes driving meaningful change. Through strategic networking, impactful content creation, and innovative top-of-mind strategies, we cultivate brand relevance and differentiation, enabling our partners and the Difference community to stand out in crowded markets. With a focus on building authentic connections, amplifying brand presence, and driving sustainable growth, we equip entrepreneurs with the tools and mindset to navigate the complexities of entrepreneurship with confidence, innovation, and resilience. Together, we aim to be the catalyst for difference makers, propelling them towards their highest potential and leaving a lasting impact on their businesses and communities. That's where our community podcasts come in. These podcasts lie directly at the intersection of innovative business development and community involvement, helping to bridge the gap between small business obscurity often seen in our communities. The community-based podcasts called the Community Difference Series are an integral part of integrating all facets of modern business development into a package of great content, positive impact branding, and top-of-mind presence, thus fulfilling the greater mission we set forth. When we set out to be difference makers, we can learn to make a difference and find the success and impact innately desired by all business owners and entrepreneurs. We are difference makers.
And now it's time for What's the Difference?
All right. What's the difference? Our segment where we compare two quick business topics. I give you the comparison. You give me a 15-second answer, and then we will go over the actual answer, which usually we're pretty close to, and we'll try to all learn a little bit together. What's the difference between personal accountability and external validation? Let's start with Meg.
I was going to say, to me, the difference is the fact that one is a little bit more tangible and the other one is a feeling.
Okay. I like that. Jeannie?
Can you repeat the question, please?
The difference between personal accountability and external validation.
Well, personal accountability is you're accountable to yourself, making sure that you're delivering on that promise. And external validation is if you are delivering and you're getting that positive response back, then it validates.
Okay. Matthew?
As I say, along the same lines, personal accountability is what I intend to deliver to others, or what I feel that I'm delivering to others, and the external validation is how others outside of my personal self perceive whether I accomplish that or not.
I like that. Shelby?
I'd say it's doing the right thing whether or not anybody knows it.
Okay, that's very good. All those are right around the definition. Personal accountability means holding yourself responsible for your actions, decisions, and results regardless of external recognition. External validation relies on others' approval and recognition to feel successful or accomplished. In other words, you take care of what you can take care of and not worry about what everyone else is doing. Last one today. What's the difference between committing to lifelong learning and relying on existing knowledge? We'll go backwards. Shelby.
Lifelong learning means you always question your own assumptions and absorb new material and recalibrate and refactor what you think you know based on new data.
Matthew.
Lifelong learning, obviously, to me, is going to be the continued pursuit of learning and growth, and constantly looking to improve, whereas relying on life experiences are going to be more just kind of letting that be, where today being the end, and I only know what I know, and I can't get any better.
Yep. A lot of that happening, unfortunately. Jeannie.
Continual improvement. I always say we've got to be thinking about that 1% improvement that you can do on everything that you do. And then you keep doing that and you will continue to do your very best.
Yes, I like that. Meg?
To me, it's like the openness of being open-minded to new things, learning new things, trying new things out, being innovative, but also falling back on what works. Like making sure you document what works and sticking to that and don't lose that on your continued growth.
All those are good. Committing to lifelong learning means continuously seeking new knowledge and skills to stay ahead and to grow professionally. Relying on existing knowledge leads to stagnation and an inability to adapt to new challenges and opportunities. All right, that's our What's the Difference segment today, guys. Let's wrap up the show. 15 seconds to each of you. Tell me what you learned, your favorite part of the show today. Let's start with our guest, Matthew.
Well, thank you for having me. The biggest takeaway for me was kind of, again, collaborating and sharing some ideas with some like-minded professionals. So definitely some validation in some of the things that I'm working on and thinking about. Definitely a couple different perspectives to look at. So for me, this was definitely a good time. Thank you.
Well, I'm looking forward. I'm going to reach out to you because I'd love to connect with you over coffee, Matthew, and get to know you a little bit on a personal level. So thank you for being on the show today. Meg?
I'm excited to have a direct contact for some property tax info. And learn.
He's going to be blowing you up, Shelby.
Yeah, I'll be checking out this seminar that you posted. So I thank you for that resource. That's nice.
That's awesome. Jeannie?
I just like being around smart people, and I've learned from a little bit from each of you today, especially, being top of mind and not just doing what you think is the norm or what's working, but always thinking, what can you be doing to do more?
I love that. And Shelby?
I really love Lyndon's question. What would you do with $100,000 that's disconnected from what you're actually selling? Because that long-term brand building is foundational and crucial. Great question, Lyndon.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was. And I a part of what we do here, we come with a topic, but I think there's a lot of learning that happens live as we're getting ready. We're networking, we're building relationships. We're doing a lot of things that we learn and study and teach, but we're also a work in progress along the way. And I think that's important to realize that, we're committing to lifelong learning. I didn't intentionally pick that question, but I think it actually is really good, because when you're in that process, you realize that you're never quite there. You celebrate the victories, but you realize, okay, I'm meant for more. I can do better. I can serve more. I can help more people. I can grow bigger. I can, give more, whatever. I can have a better business, a better marriage. I can be a better parent. All these things that we want to be better at, constant learning, constant improvement. And, it helps when you can think outside yourself. And that's why that was such a good question, because it took the business out of it. It took just how do I use my abilities to serve others through this particular budget. And when you do that, you're always going to end up building the right relationships down the road. So you guys, I invite you to stay on after the show. Thank you to all of our listeners, those commented. Shelby, of course, has made himself a resource available. If you have any more questions, when he sends me the presentation, the video that he's going to put together, I'll make sure to post that on the Difference side. We have one more week. We'll continue this topic next week. And please join us next Thursday at our Business Development Alliance First Christian Church in Plano. Walk down it's like 100 yards, not very far, to Voodoo Brewery for a happy hour, 5 to 7. We will see you then. Have a great week. We'll be back next Wednesday.
Thank you for watching today's show.
The Community Difference Plano was made possible by Nathan Smith with the Enfuego Group, Diane Castle with Castle to Castle, connecting charities to fundraising solutions, Jim Thomas, business consultant and business funding expert. Tyler Clifton with Harvest Business Solutions. Tracy Duff with Assisted Living Locators. Asiya Mahmood with Windhaven Academy. Lauren Gill with My Live Love Travel. Jacqueline Kreider with PBJ Mortgage. Megan Shaffer with the Hive of the Happily Insured. Jeannie Smith with Guardian Mortgage, a division of Sunflower Bank, N.A. And by Audra Hooper with Alloy Personal Training, at the Gleneagles Plano and Castle Hills locations. The Community Difference Plano. Together, we can make the difference.